had 6 students. Their names were Bill Brim, George Gilmore, Harlan Schuler, Frank Harder, Clayton Bud Wright, and a fellow by the name of Clifford Weiss. Those were the 6. And they were all very eager students. Schuler had come from a pest control company. Well, so had Bill Brim, as a matter of fact, and Frank Harder. Frank Harder's still in business, and he's kind of retired, but he's still in business on Long Island, New York. But of those 2 students, you see, you'll recognize B and G, which was Bill Brim, George Gilmore, Brim and Gilmore, and they were the ones that developed the first practical sprayer for the pest control industry, known as the B&G sprayer. In 1950, in the spring of 1950, that's when it happened. Pi Chi Omega was, well, I tell you how it happened. Several of them got talking about the fact that they thought there was a need for some kind of a professional society, fraternities, professional fraternity. That was not a society, a fraternity, that could bring together people who were being trained professionally in urban entomology and those who worked closely with them. And nobody really knew quite how to go at it. But those fellows dreamed a lot. And one of them, I think it was Harlan Schuler, came up with the idea of a name. And the name was Pi Chi Omega, which was PCO, Pest Control Operators, Pi Chi Omega. And so they kicked it around a while, and we convened one night in the living room of our little temporary house that we lived in at that time, and they all sat on the floor in our living room, and my wife baked a pie and carved into the crust the insignia Pi Chi Omega, and we cut the pie and drew up the bylaws for the fraternity. That's how it started. But those fellows, it just showed the enthusiasm they had for moving forward with urban entomology at the time. And Pi Chi Omega, of course, has become now an internationally recognized fraternity. We want it to be just a Purdue chapter of Pi Chi Omega. We want it to become a national professional fraternity. So we scurried around and found a lot of people who began to be interested in it, and they joined Pi Chi Omega. I think it helped. Initially, you had to have either be in training or have a degree in entomology to be a member, but we soon recognized that you needed to have an associate membership in the fraternity of people who worked in the area of pest control in a professional manner, but hadn't necessarily gotten a degree in entomology. I think that helped. This is the Pi Chi Omega official key. All of us have keys like the one on my sweater here, but this is the complete official key. And I don't know, do you want to know the meaning of some of this? Well, the key was finally designed by Glenn Laker. Glenn Laker was the extension entomologist at Purdue and was very active in helping us get off the ground. And actually, he was the editor of the Pi Chi Omega News for a period of time. But it represents first, the shape of it is a benzene ring, which was supposed to represent and does represent chemicals that are used in pest control. The shield
which is a blue shield with the Pi Chi Omega letters on it. The blue is the shield of sanitation, which was considered part of the responsibility for pest control people to maintain sanitary conditions to minimize pests, almost an integrated approach, although we didn't call it that at that time. And between the shield and the background is a fly, and the fly simply represents entomology, because the fraternity is basically a professional fraternity of entomologists. There are 3 rubies embedded in this, and each one represents another facet of work that might be carried out by the pest control industry. Without our ever using the word pest management or integrated pest control, we really, from the beginning, were doing integrated activities in pest control. So we tried to represent it in this, and Glenn was so cooperative in working out the final details of the emblem.